Hi, I'm Colin Burwell, the General Manager of Empty Cut Media, and I had a chance to rent a Canon tilt shift 45mm 2.8. Now Canon has 4 different types of tilt shifts, a 17, a 24, a 45, and a 90. I chose the 45 because I wanted that medium focal range to get more body shots rather than of landscape for the photo wedding and the photo video gig that I was going to be using it for. So I got a chance to rent it, test it for a couple hours right before I got to jump into the gig. So this video is going to be more about my experiences as renting a lens, having a little bit of time to use it, and then diving in as opposed to a tutorial. So I'll talk about the photo side of it first, and my photo experience. So the first thing I had to figure out with the lens is the tilting mechanism within it. What's the difference between tilting it to the left versus tilting it to the right? After a little bit of experimenting around in my house, I was able to at least draw theories about what I thought the lens was actually doing with practical experience or practical photos right in front of me. So once I was able to do that, or at least think I could do that, I was a little bit more confident with the lens. I also noticed that there was no rotation with the lens, meaning I was unable to physically rotate the lens 90 degrees to turn the tilting mechanism horizontally to vertically. Now with photography, it's true, I could just turn the camera 90 degrees and then take a vertical photograph if I wanted a vertical tilt. But say I wanted a landscape framing with a vertical tilt, I would be unable to obtain that with this lens, which isn't a deal breaker, but still a bummer. It's true, it's a manual focus lens, which intimidated me a little bit as a photographer. Love that autofocus, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. I was able to do some follow focusing when things were moving and just throw the shutter whenever I felt like it, not needing to worry about grabbing that autofocus first. So on to the video side. I was able to use this lens at a wedding reception. Wedding receptions are very dark, so the fact that this was a 2.8 lens worried me a little bit, but it still held its own. At 2.8 on the dance floor with a chandelier right in front of them, I was able to swing 2500 ISO, which a lot of people won't necessarily go to on a 5D Mark II, but my personal preference is I'd rather have decent exposure over noise any day of the week. But the lens at the reception was amazing. It was so good. Follow focusing action on the dance floor by the bar. I was able to throw it on my Steadicam and get some Steadicam stuff with it, which was super incredible. The weight of it was very similar to my 24mm 1.4 lens. I had to do a little bit of rebalancing with the Steadicam, but I was super impressed with what I was able to get with that focus right down the center of the frame with the blurred edges. Wonderful stuff. Now again, since the lens can't rotate 90 degrees, we as cinematographers definitely lose out on the vertical tilting capabilities of the 45mm tilt shift. We're just stuck with the horizontal one since we can't tilt it, which isn't so bad, but a bummer. The focus ring on it is smooth and pretty good. It's huge, so if you want to do like a big rack focus, you're turning your wrist all the way around. The lens was awesome, just overall. I'm really glad that I rented it and had a chance to do some photography with it and some videography with just a little bit of practice. So if you're thinking about renting one, I say go for it. It'll totally be worth it. You'll come up with some really amazing shots. And if you can swing I've seen them around for maybe like $1,300, like on Craigslist. Go for it if you can swing it. But look at the other focal lengths as well because of the rotation thing. So do your research, rent it first, fiddle around with it, see if you like it, and get tilted.